Oh,
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second Freedom from Migraine Method panel discussion on a day in the life of a Freedom from Migraine Method member. We are so glad to have you with us today. I am Debbie Waidl, your functional health coach, migraine specialist, here to support you to your migraine freedom. I know what it's like. I had daily migraines for 10 years, and I have been migraine free for over a decade and counting. My company's mission is to drop that statistic from 1 in 4 women that have migraines to destination zero, one woman at a time. And you being here shows that you are ready to control your health, you're ready to end your pain, and you are ready to get your life back. I want to thank everyone who submitted some amazing questions for the panel. And I want to thank everyone that is watching here live today with us and those that are watching on the replay, because I know we have so many time zones in this group that it would be next to impossible for everyone to watch at the same time. So do me a favor, if you are watching live now, give me a heart, give me a like, give me a love. And if you're watching on the replay, give me hashtag replay so that we know who is here live with us and who is watching later on. If you're here, make sure that you comment below, say hi, and tell us, how long have you been suffering from migraines? How long has it been since you can remember a pain-free, happy day where you didn't have to worry if that migraine was going to show up? Okay, so before we get to all of our questions, I just want to give a huge thank you to the members and graduates of the Freedom from Migraine Method and Destination Zero, who took time out of their busy days to be here to support each and every one of you as you are navigating your migraine freedom journey. I know that you guys know I have set up many interviews. I do every Tuesday. And let me tell you, it's hard to orchestrate something with one person, let alone 11 to 14 amazing women that are here. And the fact that you have all shown up for me today, and you have shown up for the women, the 2,300 plus women in the Women's Migraine Freedom Group, I think is fantastic. So I thank you all. Thank you so much for your time. Trust me, I know how busy life is. So for those of you who are, watching the replay as our panelists talk, please remember that they were once in the same spot that you are, battling with skepticism, with that fear, with that doubt, while at the same time searching for hope. Because I'm guessing that most of you joined this group not really thinking that you were actually going to find migraine freedom, but that you were going to maybe find some solutions that other people were doing just to make things better. But because of that, on this panel, we have members who, have been with us for a few weeks, a few months, members that are graduates from Destination Zero, as well as recent, alumni, here to tell you that there is a way to do this. Because I get it. I know believability is hard for all of you. And as I said, here are, I didn't even count, I should have counted 12 plus women. I'll let you guys do the math. 12 plus women who felt the exact same way and have now seen results. Now, all of them are not 100% migraine free as of today. I can't tell you that. That would be unrealistic, and I wouldn't be able to say that to you. But here are these women that have improved to the point that they are here with us today, and they are living their lives, and they want to share that message with you on what they are doing. Every one of these women is in a different place in their journey. I didn't specifically just want to bring in people that have graduated. I wanted you to be able to talk to people that are actually in the program. So each one of them is achieving different results because, let's face it, we are all different. And each woman came to this program at a unique place in their journey and with a very unique health history as well. But what they all have in common is they all have enhanced their lives by renewing their hope and empowering themselves to, take back control of their lives, that control that migraines actually took from them, while reducing that severity, the duration, and the frequency of the migraines, improving their overall health reducing the level of anxiety and depression, and they continue to do so to this day. Now, with me on this mission is one of our graduates from the Freedom from Migraine Method and a member of the In the Balance Health Coaching team, our Administrative Community Support Specialist, Erin. Erin, would you like to say hi and give a quick introduction to everyone?
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here. I'm forever grateful for two things, actually three things today. One, to be here with you all. Two, that I found the Freedom from Migraine Method program and Debbie. I can now say I'm migraine free. It took a lot of work and it was so worth it. And I get the triple bonus of now I work for Debbie and with Debbie and love supporting these amazing women, as you see in front of you and many others. Because I personally can't work for especially a health coach or a program that didn't work for me. So when I talk to you, I get a lot of questions sometimes like, how do you know? How can you relate? And I say, I'm really sorry that I can relate because I had migraines. I didn't even realize what I used to call some headaches were actually migraines. Debbie has taught me a lot about that. So I had migraines most of my life. And then when I thought perimenopause did it all, come to find out it was a little more nuanced than that. So I'm grateful to be a graduate of FMM and DZ, but that's another program. And I'm grateful to be an employee who can honestly say the programs worked for me. And now I get the joy of supporting other women. Debbie's very passionate about sharing that 1 in 4 women suffer from migraines. And our ideal situation is to work ourselves out of a job. That would be awesome. So it's pretty cool to be in a profession that cares about people and is trying to work themselves out of a job. That would be pretty cool. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I've never thought about it that way, but I love that. That is exactly what we were trying to do.
Yeah, wouldn't that be an awesome and strange day when like there's no clients because everybody's well. We would be like, well, that was a fun part of our life. Next. And how cool would that be? We could figure it out. Totally.
It would be amazing and cool because as Erin and I always share, the day that people graduate is such a bittersweet day for us. We are so thrilled and so happy when women leave with all the tools that they need to continue on their migraine freedom journey. But it takes a little piece of our heart every single time one of you leaves because we are such a close-knit family. I mean, we really become a family when we work through something like this for 4 months together.
So I'm thrilled to be here and I have my fancy overalls on today. As you all, some of you know, I love overalls and I have my fancy ones on for you all today. So it's a special day.
Amazing. All right. Well, we have like 45 minutes. We have a hard stop at 12:55 because we do have our coaching call afterwards. Erin, we have someone who's trying to get in. I just want to make sure they know that we're on the panel and not on a call. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so anyway, let's get to all of our questions so that we have enough time to get through everything. So panelists, when I ask you a question, if you don't mind when you jump on, if you could do a quick intro of yourself, just your name, say how long that you've been in the program and how long that you've had migraines. And then Erin will jump on and ask you the question because we want to make sure that we get to all of these. So as much as we want to share our full life story, we'll probably have to keep it some concise today and then maybe do some follow-ups in the comments afterwards. All right, so let's get to our questions. So Miss Connie, I'm going to have you start us off today.
All righty.
Okay, so this first person asked, what was the change you tried that surprised you the most and the difference that it made for you?
Okay. Well, I've had migraines since I was in junior high. So really most of my life. And then when I did reach out to Debbie, I had gotten to the place where over the last probably 15 years, I was having about 8 to 12 migraines, sometimes 15 a month. But then I had, for some reason, jumped into having a migraine literally I couldn't go longer than 48 hours without a migraine. So I was desperate for help. I felt like, sorry, my life was being just so completely controlled by my pain. And I'm a go-getter, an active person. I don't like to be held back by things like that. So it was a really difficult time, but found Debbie and I heard a video. I believe it was you and Erin. And I thought that I've read and had migraines my whole life. Everything that there was to know about migraines. You couldn't tell me something new about migraines. And for some reason you were in my Facebook feed, and I thought, oh, I'm going to watch this video. And it was the salt in the water thing. And I thought, well, that's weird. That's something I haven't heard. And I wanted to know more about it and started looking up you and what you were about, and then came across you. And the biggest thing for me, I remember during our first initial call when I was trying to think, do I do this or don't I do this? You know, is it going to help me or not? And I was very skeptical, was just, well, I mean, immediately in talking to you, I realized there were things out there I didn't know. But when you said to me, Connie, it's not what you're eating, because I had such a clean diet. We raised, you know, a lot of our own food. We raised our own beef, our own chickens, our own eggs. We very low sugar diet, you know, all of these things. But you're like, it's how you're eating it. And that was the biggest thing for me to realize. And looking into that a little further for myself, I started realizing that in reality, I was not getting enough protein and healthy fat in my diet. And that was a huge thing for me. And that also, sugar was a huge trigger. And I really didn't want sugar and carbs to be a trigger for me. But I started figuring out that sugar and carbs were a huge trigger for me. But I always did like these migraine journals, food journals, and I could never track it to one food. And I think so I always thought, no, it's not my food. When yes, it was how I was eating. When I literally cut sugar from my diet, when I'm getting my healthy fat and my healthy protein, I am so free of migraines. And now, and it was a lot of little things. It wasn't just that one thing. It was the overall program. Every week I would look at the topic and I think, oh, okay, you know, I'll listen to that, because I thought I'm paying for it. I'm going to put the work into it. So I want to listen to every week. So I did that. But there was things that I thought, I'm not going to get much out of that, because I already do that, or I already know a lot about that. But in reality, I was still able to draw something out of each lesson that there was. And all of those little things just had such a huge impact. You know, I think that little things came together and made a big overall impact. The sleeping thing, I had to take my TV out of my room. Didn't want to do that either.
I remember that.
I was like, no, it can't be that, you know, but it was. All of those little things were making that perfect storm for me. So
Absolutely.
It was a lot of things. Now I am not completely migraine free. I'm having about 1 to 3 migraines a month. However, I can usually always pinpoint, like, oh yeah, I, you know, ate those peanut M&Ms yesterday, and then I had kind of a high carby dinner, and, you know, I can, you know, usually look and know exactly why I am having a migraine. And then also, they're not at all what they used to be. Most of the time I can just write it out with an ice pack and some rest, and I'm not even treating them. And the intensity, they're not making me vomit. They're not, you know, like they were, to where I'm just like, oh my gosh, you know, I need to go to the ER now, or my head's going to explode. I'm not having those type of migraines anymore. So I'm still working it, and still definitely, you know, it's funny because I'll start to feel better and then I kind of slack off. And then I'll have them and I'm like, I can't slack off. Let's stay with it. So
you just said so many things, Connie. I don't even know what to unpack first, but I'll unpack so that we can kind of just let everybody really sink their teeth into that. I think it's really important for people to remember that migraine freedom is 100% possible. And at the same time, we all have choices that we can make on a daily basis. We can all choose to eat the M&Ms. We can all choose to have the birthday cake. We can all choose to stay up late or skip exercise. And we may see some consequences to that. But the key thing is to be able to know, like Connie, when those things happen, to be able to trigger and look back and go, this is why. This is what affected my threshold. This is what, you know, created that. So now Connie can make a choice the next time. Are those M&Ms worth it? Or is that hour staying up worth it? Or skipping the gym in the morning worth it? So it's wonderful to have choices, and wonderful to know that we do have the power to take care of those migraines. So thank you for sharing all that, Connie, because it really is. It is all about the big picture, the little tweaks. And you were definitely adamant when we were on our first call together. Debbie, I don't know what you can tell me, because I've done it all. You know, and when we mentioned the modules and the things, you're like, I'm not going to need those. I really don't think I will. But I love the way that you said that you pulled something from everyone. So that is key to know that there is no one thing that's going to come and beat you over the head and say, do this, and that's going to take care of your migraines. There is no one magic thing.
Yeah.
If there was, none of you would be here and one of the
Right.
women wouldn't have migraines, right?
Yeah.
So
And I'm
thank
just
you.
so thankful for the group. So changed my life. And, that's what I just want to convey to somebody who's on that fence thinking, can you help me? Yes, she can. She can, and she has. And it was the best money I ever spent, the best time I've ever spent on myself. So I get emotional because I'm so grateful. And anytime I get a chance to share what my experience with the group, with somebody who I come across who has migraines, or even my headache doctor, I do. So anyway, thank you.
Well,
I should be saying thank you.
Thank you, Connie. Thank you for being here and thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Thank you, Debbie.
Absolutely. Are you guys hearing feedback on my end, or is it just me? I just want to make sure I'm okay. A little bit. Okay. Let me know if that gets better. Sorry, my mic is not being helpful today. Okay, next question. I'm going to put Julie R on the spot. So Julie, we'll let you say hi. Tell us how long you've had migraines, how long you've been in the program, and then I will ask you your question.
Okay,
There you
can
are.
hear me?
I can.
Okay. This is week 14 for me in the program. I started having migraines when I was 9 years old. In elementary school, I would be throwing up at school because my head hurt so bad, and my mom would be called to come pick me up. I started taking daily preventative medicines at 17. I turned 57 this Friday.
I was just going to ask if you'd be willing to share your age.
Yeah, I'm about to be 57. And as of 2 months ago, I am now completely off of any type of preventative medicine for migraines. So that's, I could not even begin to count the number of pills and treatments that I've put through my body over 40 years. It's in the thousands and thousands of pills that I've taken. And I don't even want to know what kind of damage, that long-term damage that could do to my health. But
well, you know what, Julie, the good thing is we're reversing it now, right? We're
yes,
reversing
we are.
that damage.
Yes.
So,
and when you and I first talked almost 4 months ago, I absolutely believe that you could help me, but I still, even with your help, I would have never believed how good I feel today and the changes that I've seen. It's been amazing.
you've just led right into my question for you. So my question was basically, what made you decide to join the program when everything else had failed for you?
Well, the biggest decision for me came about probably 6 to 7 months ago. Earlier in this year, I had a pain specialist who a relative of mine was seeing, and he knew I had chronic migraines, and he was just so convinced he could help me. And I made a couple of appointments with him, and each time as the appointment date got closer, I just thought, I'm not doing this because I'm so tired of going to neurologist and pain specialist and you name it, I've tried it. Like probably every woman in this group, if there's something out there that we've heard can help migraines, we've all tried it because you're so desperate to do anything to help yourself. But what I firmly began to believe earlier this year was that the answer was not going to be found in the next greatest new treatment approved by the FDA. It was not going to be in a pill. It was not going to be an injection, that it had to be simpler than that. And I just couldn't keep throwing medicines at it to manage the symptoms because they weren't working. Mm-hmm. And I just said, I made a promise to myself, no more doctors. I'm finished seeing doctors. There has to be a healthier, more holistic approach to getting to the root of the problem. And by the grace of God, something about you came across my Facebook feed one day, and I clicked on it, and I just felt like it was kind of like a godsend. And I kind of like Connie, I feel like I'm going to get emotional because it was like an answer to prayers, because what I had been hoping to somehow find that I knew wasn't available in my city, I found online. And then when you and I talked on Zoom, even though I had just lost my job a month before, I knew that the investment to do this program and the investment to put in myself that I absolutely believed you could help me, and you have, and it's been worth every single penny that I put to taking this course, because it has changed my life and will continue to change my life. And I think what you do is, you're just a blessing from God. You really are. And I really appreciate what you can do for me and for all these other women. It's amazing.
Well, you're so sweet, but you know what? You ladies are the blessing, because you're the ones who change my life every day. And I have to thank you, Julie, for being so vulnerable and sharing what you just shared. I don't know if you all heard that. Julie lost her job, and Julie is responsible for Julie. There's nobody else taking care of Julie. And she took that leap of faith in me, in herself, in the program, and joined because she knew that she needed to do something different and needed to get her life back. And for someone to be able to do that and not use the excuse of, oh, Christmas is coming, I got to buy the kids a new car, we got to redo the living room, or, you know, whatever it is. We all have something, right? We all have something we have to pay. We just had something happen in our house that I'm going to have to dole some money out for. I mean, there's always going to be something, but Julie, you took a big chance in yourself. And that to me is what's amazing. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing your story. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Barbie. Barbie. This is Barbie's second time with us on the panel. I love it. Barbie also supports us. I'm sure you ladies have seen her in the Facebook group. So if you need anything, make sure you reach out to Barbie. She is our community coordinator, but we love to have you on. So tell us, obviously we know you're Barbie, how long you've had migraines, how long you've been with us. And then your question is, this person said that they've tried everything, literally everything. Why will this work and nothing else will?
Okay. Well, I tell people the quick answer, how long I've had migraines, is 11 years. And that's because that's when they became near daily. 5 years ago, I had leukemia and they became daily, every single day. But I really think I've been having migraines since high school, but they were more like abdominal migraines. I didn't know that then. And then I've had a few throughout my whole life. So I just have a migraine brain, and I didn't recognize that until the 11 years ago. I've been in the program, gosh, maybe, I think it's March. But somewhere along in there, I had another health problem thrown at me, and that turned it all around. And I didn't really have to start over, but it just made everything kind of go bad again. And so I'm still working on it, but I've never had any day in 11 years without pain. And now I've gone for a couple of stints of several weeks without pain and meds, and then I'll get it again because I did something wrong.
You didn't do something wrong, Barbie. You made a choice that consequences from.
Well, heavy dose of denial here about what my triggers are. Okay. So I figure out what my triggers are, and I'm just being very stubborn about what my triggers are. But now I'm doing much better. And I know that I think I'm going to be migraine free, and maybe one will slip through here and there, but I behave pretty well. So I think I can be migraine free. So
I know you can be. I know you.
We will see. I'm super close. So why will this work and nothing else? I've tried everything, maybe more than most, including surgery with the nerves back here. I had a neurostimulator. I've had dozens of preventatives, the new ones, the old ones, off-label ones, every abortive, you can name it. And they worked for me, the abortives, the preventatives never did. Chiropractic, acupuncture, gosh, the list is long. Weird things, ozone therapy, cryotherapy, the cold thing, all of it. And none of it worked. And I'm not even sure now, looking back, I wanted it to work because I don't want to be tied to any of that. Of course, at the time I'm in pain, I want it to work. But now looking back, I'm like, if any of that had worked, I'd still be doing that. And I wouldn't be here, medication free, in charge of myself. I know what to do for me now to stay migraine free. And like others have said, who knows what the long-term damage of all of that stuff is. I had surgeries, for Pete's sake. So, and then of course we all have other issues. And whenever my gut, I've got SIBO, which is an intestinal thing. Whenever that acts up, I get a migraine. So following this plan, I fix all of it, because you're eating healthy and you're off meds, and it kind of fixes everything. So I really do think that this is the better approach than any of that doctor stuff. So I don't know if that answers the question completely,
Absolutely does. Absolutely does. And I would love it right now for anybody watching the replay. Tell me if you've tried any of these things that Barbie just listed. Because, we all talk about the normal ones, the meds, the ice, the essential oils, those kind of things. But Barbie listed off some things that were, a little bit out there and a little bit severe, like having, nerve surgery. And believe it or not, I've heard some people, their doctors have actually had them go through a hysterectomy to try to end their migraines. So if that's you, tell us in the comments. We would love to know if you've experienced the same kind of thing. And as Barbie said, it's not just, it's about finding your overall health, not just about finding migraine freedom, and starting to do things that are life lasting and that you want to do for life. You want to be healthy for life. You want to eat healthy for life. You want to treat yourself right for life versus taking meds for life that can damage you and that can make things worse. So thank you for sharing that, Barbie.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Also, this is user friendly. Other people have tried, we've tried all these. I did Whole30 3 times, right? And it's difficult. And this is much more friendly than that.
Well, we try
very
to
well
take
organized, laid out, and yeah, you don't have to make a million changes at once. And in fact, I think you encourage us pretty much not to make a million changes at once, because then if you do, you don't know which 1 or 2 or 3 of those things was the key for you.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about only changing what you have to get the results that you're looking for, so that we can live as normal of a life as possible. And I live a pretty normal life. There are certain choices that I make so that I can make other choices. Like I choose not to eat gluten because I really like a glass of wine on the weekend. So that's my balance. But everybody has little different choices. And in a lot of other migraine programs out there that may be right for others. I think there's a right and a wrong program for everyone, but a lot of other programs out there are restrictive, like you're mentioning, Barbie, where you do have to go in and change everything at once. And that's very hard to sustain. So we work hard here at making sure that this is something you can sustain for life, so that you don't find migraine freedom for 4 months. You find it for however many years you have left. And I don't know about you ladies, I'm 52. I plan on living to over 100. So I got 50 years left that I want to be living. You got something to add, Erin, or are we just hitting the button there?
Nope, I'm good. I just wanted to jump in real quick and because we say this too, we want to clarify, we are not anti-doctor in this program. We are not anti-medicine. We want to make sure that's clear. And many people come into this program on the medicine they need to be on. So I don't want you to think, and please don't say, oh, well, Debbie and Erin said, let's go cold turkey and join this program and it will all be awesome.
No, we didn't.
So I just want to put a little loving reminder statement in there. We are not anti-med or doctor. We are anti what doesn't work for you. We are all for figuring out what does work for you as an individual through this group support. So I just wanted to throw that little lovely disclaimer in there real quick. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right. Paula asks, where is Paula? I saw her before. There she is. Paula, do you have enough support in the program? That's the question for you. So let us know how long you've been in the program, how long you've had migraines, and let us know if you feel you have enough support.
Hi, Debbie. I've been on the program for nearly 4 months now. I graduate, I think, next week. And I've had migraines for over 30 years. I used to get probably a couple of months maybe. And then as time went on and we came into this year, I started getting them every day. So from March, I'd had one every single day. I'd tried all the preventatives, propranolol, topiramate, amitriptyline. They didn't work. And then I discovered what I thought was the wonder drug of sumatriptan. Only it wasn't really, because you take one and you think, yay, this is amazing, it works. But then every time you get a migraine, you take one, and then you get stuck in this absolutely vile cycle of have a migraine, take a sumatriptan, and then you get another one. So that's what I was stuck in when I spoke with you towards the end of July. So that's how long I've been on the program. In terms of support, I've never really experienced anything like this before. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, we're based across many miles. I know there's a few other UK ladies, but most of the ladies, certainly from where I see, seem to be from America. Everybody is absolutely amazing. You only need to come on and say, look, I'm having a really bad day. I was really ill last week, and I got so many lovely comments, and we're rooting for you, and do you need anything, and have you tried this, and have you tried that? Everybody just wants you to be well. It's such an inclusive community, and like I say, I've never experienced anything like this. It's just incredible, and I know a couple of the other ladies have said, oh, it's life-changing, and I think if I was sat here watching this, I might feel a bit skeptical, but actually the reality is it is life-changing. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm migraine free, because I'm not, but I've gone from March to September, I was having a migraine every day. In fact, it wasn't till September. It was soon after I joined the program, they started to reduce a little bit. But as soon as I came off the sumatriptan, then I started to see some real improvement. But I've gone from having one every day. Sometimes I would have more than one migraine a day. And now I'm down to about one every 8 days. So although when I get one, it's pretty horrific, because I don't take any medication now, because I honestly feel it makes me worse, and it helps you recover from the one that you're having, but then gives you another horrific one. For me anyway. I'm not saying it's the same for everybody. But I've just seen such a massive difference. I feel like I've got my life back again, and that's encompassed in the support that you get from the group. So yeah, it's fantastic.
Well, thank you, Paula. And just so everyone knows, right now we have about 40% of our group is actually from places outside of the US. So it used to be, in the very beginning, we were primarily obviously US, because that's where I am from. But we're so happy to have so many more members from other countries, the UK, Canada, Mexico, even one from China. So, we support women all around the world, which is absolutely amazing. And Paula, I love what you said about medication, and this will kind of piggyback on what Erin was saying. We're not anti-meds. What we really are is anti-meds for life, when they aren't needed to replace something that you no longer can create. So for example, if you no longer have a thyroid gland, you need hormone because you can't make it. You're type 1 diabetic, you need insulin. You will not survive without it. Those things are necessary. Medications that we take, like Paula was taking sumatriptan, which I took as well, Imitrex, and thought it was like the miracle drug. When I first took it, it was like, hallelujah, I'm going to have a day, no pain. But then very quickly that hallelujah goes into, okay, good. All right, well, it's there, but it's not gone. And then all of a sudden it goes into, excuse my French, shit, it's not gone. Now I got to take 2, and this really sucks. So what we teach you to do, and what Paula has done throughout the program, is some people choose to stop their medication in the beginning, but typically what we do is we get your body ready to stop medication so that you are the healthiest that you can be, so that we've reduced the inflammation as much as possible to make it an easier process to be able to begin weaning off of medication. Obviously, everyone has a different time frame, a different agenda. We will support you in whatever that is, but the program is based on, let's get you healthy, let's get you ready. And then in conjunction with your doctor, we are going to work on reducing the medications that you're on, because there are many women in this program that are on 5, 10, 15 medications when they start. So it's not just about the triptans, it's about everything else that Paula listed. So thank you, Paula. Thank you for that insight. We really appreciate it. Okay, I got a bunch of questions left, but I can't help it, guys. I talk too. So I'm going to do my best to speed it up so we make sure we have time. Susan, would you like to jump on? Introduce yourself. Tell us how long you've had migraines and how long you've been in the program. Susan's also about to graduate. So sad.
Hi, I'm Susan. I've been in the program. This is my last week. I'm sad. I've already cried a couple of times during this when I hear people's stories. But I had migraines for about 12 years before I joined the program. I probably had some here and there before that, but I really they started to really ramp up during menopause. And I tried a lot of stuff. I didn't do the surgery, but I, it's like interesting. Barbie mentioned that because I remember I used to join all those migraine groups, and then I started dropping out of them because I just would cry seeing all these people suffering. I couldn't stand it because I felt so bad for them. But I saw a lady had all these bruises all over her face. She had had some kind of surgery, and I just thought, oh, there's got to be a better way. But, I never went that far, but I did a couple of clinical trials. I tried sumatriptan, different kinds of triptans, different prophylaxis medicines, acupuncture, chiropractic. I did a really expensive vitamin program that really destroyed my gut health for a while. So, I tried a lot of different stuff. And I was just extremely overwhelmed. And, honestly, when I saw your Facebook ad, I was just like, wow, this sounds so nice. And I like the language and everything. And, but I just was like, I guess I was afraid of failure again, because it kind of makes you feel bad about yourself when you try these things and you fail. You take it personally, you think that something's wrong with me. I did something wrong. And, even sometimes, like, my husband, he really is wonderful, and he's been so supportive. And he talked to Debbie that day that we signed up, and he wanted me to do the program and stuff. But sometimes he would say, well, you did this, you did that wrong. And, and so then you're like, oh, every little thing I do is like wrong, and you just panic because it's like, I ate this, or I tried to help somebody and that was too much effort or whatever. And I guess that I'm at this stage in my life where I'm doing some work. I teach yoga and I write some books and articles and things, but like, it's also important for me to give something back now, because I'm semi-retired, and I want to be able to do our turtle rescue projects, and I want to have my neighbors come over for dinner, and I want to help neighbors that are in trouble and things like that. And so all those things like really mattered to me when I was in this pain and wanting to get somewhere. And I'm sorry, I lost track of what the question was.
That's okay. I'm going to read it right now. I was waiting for a good moment to get in there, because everything you're saying is wonderful. So I hate to interrupt anybody. But this person asked, would you recommend this program to other women who are suffering with migraines that might be different than everyone else? And let me just explain this, because I hear this all the time. I talk to hundreds of women a month, and I hear constantly, I don't think you can help me because I have weather-related migraines. I don't think you can help me because I get dizzy. I don't think you can help me because I only get one migraine a month versus, migraines every day. You can't help me because mine are hormonal. You can't help me because mine are, from chocolate or whatever. So this person is asking, is this program going to help if they have X? Because this question literally came in 6 times. I just pushed it together into one question because it was hormones in one, dizziness in one, and all that.
Honestly, having tried another program that some of the things is Angela Stanton, some of the stuff she does, but it's just like the eating and the diet and all that they were good, but I think that the thing is that to be successful, what I had trouble with is that they wanted to like push you into this mold where you have to do this and you have to do that. And I'm a fitness trainer, and I've been an athlete. I'm still competing and swimming and running, and I know my own body. And so in some ways I kind of feel like I'm in tune, and I have like intuition about what's going to work and what's not going to work. And so when I got pushed into a box, it wasn't working well for me at all. It was actually making me worse. And so what I like about this program, I love the structure. You have all these modules that you get to study on your own. So you have that independence of being able to figure out when you have the time to do it, and you do it. I love that. But I also like the fact that there's always this help, this support out there. Well, maybe we need to tweak this for you. and maybe a little adjustment here, a little bit of adjustment there. So we did a lot of that in this program. It really helped. Some people drink more salt water, some people drink less salt water, some people eat extremely low carbohydrate, some people eat more carbs. It just kind of depends. Everybody's body is a little bit differently. And yes, you can get better, absolutely. But part of it is just following the program, be willing to just dive in there and really do what you need to do in the way of the work. And also just kind of reaching out for help and listening to your own body and finding out what will work for you. And, I came in the program too with all these triggers. It's like socializing and smells and weather and certain foods and all that. And yeah, you think, okay, there's all these things. And so no, I can never overcome this. But what Debbie tries to teach you is it's all about threshold and bringing yourself down below that threshold so that you can function again. And so, all these overwhelming things, sometimes when I'm having a really, really good week, people walk by with that horrendous perfume and I'll just be like, whatever, it's kind of a nice feeling, before I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna get a migraine. So
you just like set this up perfectly for me, Susan, because I was just about to go into the fact that it's all about threshold. So, a migraine's a migraine. I'm sure you guys have heard this before. Sugar is sugar is sugar. So there are no hormonal migraines. There are no weather migraines. There are no, whatever you want to call it, ocular migraines. I love how on the internet, they like to put names on them. They're migraines, and it's all about where you are in your threshold. And yes, hormones can shove you over the edge. Weather can shove you over the edge, but it's all about how many triggers are stacking up and if you're staying underneath that threshold. So that's what Susan's talking about, is how she figured out how to raise that threshold, because our thresholds are low when we have migraines. So how to raise it so that we can 100% live under it and be able to get hit in the face with perfume and go, I'm all right today, versus, oh crap, now I got to go home and I'm gonna have a migraine for the rest of the day.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, because since I've been in the program, I've been able to go to high altitude. I've been able to travel, I've been able to socialize a little bit more. So, just gradually, little by little, I've done a lot of turtle rescue work this last month.
Yes, Susan loves to overgive. Which is absolutely wonderful.
Starting to work. It's just the 6-hour kayaking thing didn't go so good, but
but it's all about learning. Well, I appreciate you sharing, Susan, and I appreciate you mentioning, another program, because there are, like I said, there are many different people out there that work with women with migraines, work with men, children, and there's a right and wrong program for everyone. And this one, we do our best to make sure that we have that foundational approach, but tailored to you, so that it is the right place for you to be. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're
All right,
welcome.
I'm going to move on for sake of time. Kristen, there you are. How are you today?
Good. How you doing?
I am doing good. So tell us now because you're a graduate, so that's why I wanted to bring you on quickly to make sure we had enough time to hit all of the people. How is life now? Because someone's asking, what is it like when you leave the program and do things revert?
Okay. Yeah. I'm Kristen, and I've had migraines I've had headaches forever, but never knew they were migraines. And then probably the last 5 years, they've gotten worse. In the last 2, they became totally intense and went from 1 or 2 days to 3 days. And it would be 8-10 days a month, excuse me, and was on medications. And when the doctor kept prescribing more medications for me, it just didn't feel like the right solution for me. I told Debbie they put me on a blood pressure medication, even though I have low blood pressure. So it didn't make sense. So that's when I started looking and found this program. And I did like it because it wasn't so stringent. It was flexibility. And my biggest thing was trying to find the root cause. So that was what drew me in. So I've graduated from the program. I've actually figured out that I have other health issues from being in the program, because my doctors have always said, you're healthy, you have great cholesterol, you have low blood pressure, send me on my way. Even, if I said, well, what about this or what about that? They're like, oh, you're fine. That's because you're, getting old. So graduating from the program, I still do the things. I've got my water, and just yesterday I was at the get my teeth cleaned, and the hygienist was telling me she has migraines, and I was like, how much water do you drink a day? And she's like, oh, I don't drink any water, because she's covered in PPE. And I'm like, you got to start there. But I gave her the website too.
Thank you.
But it's just, you know what to do, and you have the steps. Am I 100% perfect? No, but because I'm still doing things. I'm still trying to detox. I'm still working on some other health issues. I couldn't do everything at once, like throw away all my products and detergents and this and that. So every week or so, I still work on that. The foundation things, like the hydration. And I know when I stay up too late on the weekend and should have went to bed and it feels a little bad. But now I know, because I remember going to the doctors and they're super supportive, but they'd say, track your triggers. And I'd leave and I'm like, I don't know how to track my triggers. I don't know what they are. I knew whether it was weather, but I couldn't control that. So that didn't really help me. But with the program, like, because you go through the modules, you learn, and you can still do that. And then, like Barbie even said, like, you kind of know when you make a little wrong choice. But now when I make a wrong choice, it's not like a 7-8. I'm not in bed for 3 days. It might be like a 1 or 2. I know before the program, I'd probably want carbs because you feel kind of sick. Now I know that I want healthy fats. Got to make sure I have my sodium and my water. Like, you just have the tools and the tips. I don't reach for medication. I've never refilled them after I got off of them. When I like go somewhere, I'll travel with like salt and extra water and some healthy snacks, and my travel bag used to always have the sumatriptans and Advil and Tylenol and etc. because you were nervous. So now I don't travel with that stuff. I know how.
So now you feel confident. You feel confident to be able to.
I feel like it is a lifelong thing. I think you can just always keep improving, even though it's 4 months. Like the beginning, I got a lot of improvement right away. And then I just kept getting better. And now I still feel like I still know what to do, and I keep getting better. So, you've had migraines maybe 10, 20 years, people. So I don't think like it's realistic to think I'm going to get 100% better in a few months, but the improvement is dramatic. And then you just got to keep with it. And, you still have access to the material, so you can go back and refresh yourself. And usually you kind of know, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how you say that, because everyone's migraine freedom is different, right? There are some people that literally 2 weeks into the program, after 40 years of migraines, has not had a migraine since, and it's almost 12 months now.
Yep.
There are other people that 2 months into the program, the only thing they were feeling was head pressure, and they haven't gone back and had a migraine. There are others 4 months into the program, the severity, duration, and frequency has, been knocked at least in half, and they know that they have the tools to continue to do the healing that's needed, because our body heals at all different levels. Some people heal quicker than others. So, okay. Not to do a fast round robin, but we're going to try to do a fast round robin, because I have 4 people left that I want to make sure we get to. So not to put any pressure on you guys, but you get to answer quicker. How's that? So let's start with Christine. Is the program difficult to do if you are always busy? If you are busy, what do you do? Christine is a mom of 3, works a full-time job, and did the program at the same time. So we have no excuses, ladies.
No, no, it's totally manageable. And I was surprised at that, right? I didn't want something that was going to be really time consuming, but just the way things are designed, like if I needed to listen to the lessons for the week, I would do that in the car. If I'm taking a walk, I would do that just kind of in the spare moments that you have. And then really, like, I think what takes time, but you make the time for it, is just kind of implementing those changes, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to commit to it. You just have to want to believe and do and go for it. I had to cook different. I had to learn to cook a little bit differently, but we do that at different points in our life anyway, right? So it's just kind of learning to adjust, and you do a couple new recipes, every once in a while, and you just filter them in and it works. So I think it's totally manageable. And I think about like the time that we just spend at the end of our night kind of vegging out on Facebook. And so instead of just scrolling random friends feeds, I was kind of in our group, right? And learning new things and just listening and supporting and getting support. So you just kind of change your time. So yeah, I think it's totally manageable.
I love that. I love that. And I don't know if any of you have iPhones, but if you have them set up so you can actually see, at the end of the week, your screen time, it'll actually show you what you've spent time on your phone, how many hours. And when that first came up on my phone, it was a little scary. So I know we all have time. We all have time. It's just like Christine said, it's a matter of choosing what we decide. Are we going to Netflix and, hang out? Are we going to scroll Facebook, or are we going to scroll the group to learn? So absolutely amazing. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Vicky, where is Vicky? There's Vicky. Vicky, how much time a week did you spend on the program?
I think it depends on the person and where you're at in that specific module. If your cooking is at a certain level, you might not need to spend as much time on that. If you kind of have some of the sleep stuff figured out, you might not spend as much time on that. For me, I needed to work on sleep. I needed to work on stress. I thought stress was a pretty hefty module, but we all have stress. So it's really important to spend some time doing that. Sometimes I would just spend an hour or two listening to the modules, kind of looking at the group, looking at some of the extra guides and stuff and that information. But then the other weeks I might spend, 3 or 4 hours because you're just spending more time in the group, or just spending more time actually putting those things in place, or doing research on products that you want to buy, or, that kind of stuff. So I think it really varies depending on the person, but you just have to realize that some weeks can be a little bit more, some weeks can be a little bit less. But in the end, it's all going to kind of, it's a head to toe program. It's not just working on one thing. So you have to realize that it's a life commitment. It's not a one module commitment. It's a whole thing.
I love that, because you do need to be committed, right? There is that magic bullet, that magic wand to make things go away. So knowing that, yes, you do have a little commitment, a time commitment, but as Vicky, as you said, and Christina said, that it is manageable, that there are ways to fit it into your day. You just have to be sometimes a little creative, to fit it in, and willing to do that. So, and Vicky is a graduate. And for those of you who want to hear her story, come back in January. She's actually going to be chatting with us with her husband. I'm very excited for that interview to hear more about Vicky's story. Okay, we have Pam and Paula left. So Pam, join us. Pam, do you feel the changes that you've made are changes you can live with for life?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've also, like everybody else, tried a bazillion things, and all doctors wanted to just give me all kinds of medicine and chemicals, and I was like, but don't you want to know why I'm getting them? And nobody really cared that. They just was like, here's medicine, and ask me the question again, because I totally lost it.
That's okay. Do you feel the changes are changes that you can sustain for life, or is this like doing it for 4 months and you're done?
Yeah, because my family and friends and everything, they kind of just know me as the person with the migraines. Like, my neighbors don't say, how you doing? They say, oh, do you have a migraine today? And it's like, wow, that's how people know me, which is kind of frustrating, and when my sister, she's always like, oh, well, can you eat this, and can you have this, and can you do this? And I'm like, I'm choosing not to right now. I can have anything I want, and I can do anything I want, and I'm basing it on what I know my threshold is at right now. And, trying to explain that to other people is not difficult. It's just, you have to explain it to them, but everybody in the group understands what you're talking about, and it's like, yeah, if I want to have ice cream, I'll have ice cream, but I have to make sure those other things are in place, or I'm going to suffer consequences, and I have to be prepared for that. And I'm like, I choose no, because I don't want the migraine, so that it's always my choice. And yeah, so that's what it comes down to. I think it's sustainable, and I have done the program since July, and I have had migraines for over 30 years, sometimes 12 to 19 a month. And, they've cut down substantially. I've gone 2 weeks with nothing, and that makes me incredibly happy, so I'm just, it's a process, and I'm getting better, and I know that I can make choices on my own.
Absolutely. I love that. Somebody in the group this week actually had cookies delivered to them, and it was the same kind of thing. I can't remember her exact wording, but you know, these were really good cookies. She really wanted them, but it was like, I'm making the choice. I'm making a choice for a migraine-free day versus a day with cookies. And I think that's what Pam's saying. Some days are cookie days and some days are pain-free. You know, we have to choose, what do we want that day? So I love that. I love it. Paula Z. We've already talked to Paula S. So it's Paula Z here. Paula. So this person wants to know, what was something, hi, how are you? What was something you had to do in the program that you didn't want to do?
Give up sugar.
Do you wonder why I picked this question for you? So
You
obviously,
had to quit.
yeah. I mean, we know that sugar is hard. We know it's not good. I know it's one. We're going to go over a couple of minutes. Everybody will have to hang in there. But my coaching people awake. Most of you are on the coaching call anyway. So, but it was hard. But was it something that was worth it to you?
Oh, yes. Yes. I've lost almost 10 pounds. So an added bonus.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And do you feel in the program that this was something you were doing on your own? Like that you were struggling with giving up sugar and, you know, having to do a cold turkey? Was it, you know, a massive challenge that you were doing by yourself?
Two things that really helped. My husband was totally on board and he said, I will eat whatever you eat. And he said, I think that will help you. And a coworker of mine who has a lot of gut health issues, not so much migraines, she got on board. And so we're not snacking. Well, because we're both florists, so we'd snack while we were working on flowers, and we don't do that anymore. And we both eat kind of the same things for lunch, and we discuss what we're going to buy and what our meals are going to be for the week. And so I had a lot of support. So it made the road, which I thought would be horrendous, it made it a lot easier.
I love it. I love it. And obviously, as you see results, I'm sure that you felt that the choices were even easier. You know, as Pam said, making that choice between, is this something that I really want to do today, or is it not worth it? So how were your migraines, really quick? How were they when you started as compared to now?
I was getting them almost every day when I started the program. And as others, my sumatriptan was working 50% of the time at best. I maybe am getting a mild migraine, maybe once a week, maybe once every 10 days. And it's something I can manage pretty easily with all my tools that I have now. I've learned a whole lot about myself and especially stress. And I didn't realize how much stress was playing a part of how I was functioning and living day to day.
Amazing.
So that's been amazing.
I love it. I love it. Perfect. All right. We have one person that we actually have to go, but I want to give Joe one quick second. Joe, do you want to just jump on, say hi to everybody, tell everybody who you are, and how, you know, if you're here in the program or not, and how long you've had migraines?
Hi. I've had migraines since my teens. I'm 43 now, so 20 plus years. I've been in the program 14 weeks, so I graduate very soon as well. And I've gone from migraines probably 3 to 4 times a week to, I would say 2 a month now. So huge, huge improvement.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. And I'm sorry, we're cutting you short. As you can hear, my timer keeps going up. It's saying, hello, you have a coaching call. So let me honor the people that I have to go to the coaching call with and sum all this up. So we did go a little bit over. I am sorry, but I have a very hard time stopping anyone from talking because you all had so many wonderful things to say, and I wish I could have given you more time to talk. I do hope that this was 100% super helpful for everyone that is watching now and is watching the replay. So if you're still on, give me some reactions. Let me know if you found this live useful today, and if you found it helpful to hear from women who are either going through the program or have gone through the program, because the whole point of this is to give you this feeling of hope, to let you know that there is a way to end your pain, and that even if you think that it can happen for everyone else and it's not going to happen for you, Look how many amazing women are here. If it can happen for them and the countless other women that have interviews in the group and testimonials in the group, then this is possible for you. As I promised, for those of you who are attended live, I will be sending via messenger, hot off the presses, a day in the life of a Freedom from Migraine Method guide. So if you reached out to us already in PM, you know that that guide is heading your way so that it can actually walk you through step by step what it is like to be a member, what we do, how we do it, so you can get the actual nuts and bolts. So please make sure you check your message request folder if we have not talked on Messenger before. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to receive that. So it'll be Erin or myself that will be reaching out to you in the next couple of days to make sure we get that to you. In addition, I want to announce the amazing bonus that I have before I let you go. This is going to be announced tomorrow in the group, but for those of you who are listening, you're getting an early action on this. If you join the Freedom from Migraine Method program between now and December 1st, you are going to receive the holidays on me. So that will be extending your program from 16 weeks to almost 23, depending on when you sign up. So that is going to allow you, as a couple people mentioned in here, I talk about this all the time, that is going to allow you to start slow and steady and not stress out about the holidays. So this will actually give you the time to actually reduce the severity, duration, and frequency of your migraines before the holidays hit. And at the same time, give you more time to do the program at your own pace. Because all I hear this time of year when I talk to women is, I need to wait till after the holidays. I need to wait, you know, I have family coming in, I have parties, I've got to do things with the kids. Remember, we need to put ourselves first. And this is a way that I am gifting to you to be able to do that. This offer is only going to be available for 24 women. So do not delay, because I already know of some people that plan on taking this spot. So I want to make sure that if you are interested, that you reach out right away. So we are going to drop the link to this video as soon as we're done to be able to sign up for a Migraine Breakthrough call. We'll make sure that that's in the comments for you. And if you can't find a time on my schedule that works for you, please reach out to Erin or myself, and we will make sure that we will find a time that we can fit you in. Okay, one last thank you, please. A huge thank you to all of the amazing women that are here today. Thank you so much for taking your time to share your story, to be so vulnerable and telling everyone in the Women's Migraine Freedom what it was like for you to be a part of this program. So thank you so much, everyone. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, especially if you have a question for someone specific on here. Go ahead and tag them. I know that they'd be more than happy to answer you back in the comments and let you know, get you your answer there. So, all right, I'm 7 minutes over. My apologies. Everyone have a migraine-free day. We'll see you in the group.